Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Ravi. Today we are here with another very important interview question from Azure Data Factory side. So, if you load your data using Azure Data Factory, the question appears: what is incremental load? What is a delta load? How you load your fact table? So, if that question appears for your interview, then you should understand how to answer it. So, welcome to the channel. I know I am continuously improving my skill set of communication. So I make myself slow, and I in this tutorial you are going to cover all the errors on the live session kind of thing, and you will understand if error comes up on your particular session, you can easily reach to me and you will find all the answer, all the possible errors comes up while doing implementation. So directly jump into the session about incremental refresh. So if interview asks how you implemented incremental refresh on your fact load, so let me give you a brief understanding what is incremental load. So, so while loading the fact table, as you know, fact table is a huge data set. Means you have 1,000 rows. I'm giving some example because dimension table have 10 or 20 rows. So on top of that dimension table, fact load is very huge. Okay, and fact table you have to load periodically. Means it might be a daily load, it might be a weekly load, or it might be a monthly or quarterly load. That could be possible. Okay, once you load the data. So while loading the fact table, why you load each table for 10 years? Might suppose you have data for 20 years older. So why you use those data to load again and again and make your performance of your Azure is getting slowed on period of time. So you don't need to load those file again and again, correct? So the concept called incremental load coming from that point of view. So, for example, take example. Today are February, right? So, suppose in first time load you load everything, correct? You have loaded all 10 years data. But while loading a February load first of February, take example of each month wise. So, why you load all again same set of data? This is not necessary. So, what you have to do, you have to create some column where you can store your file. Means you store your date time stamp, means what time you have loaded particular row in the table. Okay, so suppose you have some source data source where you have data and you also have a last modify column. Okay, so in last modify column means it represent your row which date and time it got stored. Now you assume that you load all full file on 31st December. Okay, in 1st January once you load it, then what you do, you will ignore previous date files. Okay, and you have to consider one watermark table is a static table. You have to t- kept that date on the watermark table, which latest date you picked to store if data on the table. Okay, so let me come into the data wise. Means let's come to directly on the fundamental of incremental refresh, how we are going to achieve. So I am taking source as a SQL server, Azure SQL obviously, and I will store our data in flat file. Okay, let's directly jump into SSMS. Okay, so let me brief about what we have. Okay, so let me create some sample data for you first of all. Okay, what I'm going to load in SQL, Azure SQL, and I will create a watermark table for you. So let me start from the scratch. Okay, just hold on. Okay, so here, so let me start with dropping a table here first. Okay, so let me create a table, sample table. What table data we have? Last modified date, as we discussed in starting of the session. In starting of the session, we are creating a table with the three columns. ID name is my main data, and last modified data is inserting as a get date. Okay, so once you create a pipeline on real time data, you have to use get data, and it will capture those time, minute, and a second hour, second, and minute. So you have to keep in mind you will get the latest date for each row. Okay. So let me create a table. Okay. Let me insert the sample data. So once we insert the data, let me run the query what data we have. Okay. Select star from my table. Okay. So you can see I have a five row where I have ID and name, prospective name, and we have a last modify time. Last modify is nothing, it capture for which date, which time you captured, okay, data type captured. Let me create one more table called watermark table. Is only being used for capture the latest date once you insert the data. Okay, what is the maximum date? Okay, let me give a sample data for it because we are loading a first time data, right? So it can't be null. You give any date or default date 1900, but I'm giving a old date 2010 date because I have data for 18 to 2018. Okay, so let me insert the data and we'll let me see what data I have. I'm just verifying the data. Are we not make a duplicate of it? Okay, so I got the data of 10.01.10. Okay. Now we have to create a store procedures to update this watermark table. Means once you load this data, okay, so we should have captured the latest date on this table. Okay, so in this example, by default we loaded 210 data, but once we load this data, we have to get a last maximum date of it. Okay, and we can update it. You can see the query is very quite simple. We just have a update watermark table and we just capture. Uh, we need to get the latest date. Means once we run the pipeline, it'll pipeline, it will capture last modified data and table name in runtime. Okay, and it just update it. Okay, so let me see where we are now. What data we have? We have this data. Okay, we have watermark table. Okay, and we also have a stored procedure on the place. Okay, okay, we already have a data. Okay, let me say, do we have data here? So we have 2010 date, right? We are all set on SQL side. Now directly jump into our where blob side. Okay, so let me create a new pipeline. I am building this pipeline for you on the scratch. Okay, this called increment pipe. Okay, you getting my point? This is quite simple. So what we have to do, we have to get both the data, means what date, maximum date from the main table and date it from the watermark date from watermark table. Okay. So for that we have to do use a lookup because we need to check the data. We have to use two lookup. One is from where? SQL. Let me see where I have SQL. Okay. I already have warehouses. So from where we have to take? We have to take it from watermark table. What it will give, it will give me old date. Okay, so as I have only one row here, so there is no mandatory step to follow. So just keep in mind what it will give me lookup old watermark. Correct, because in this store procedure what we have a old date. As of now I have by default 2010 date, right? Just keep in mind like that. Okay, from here let me preview the data what we have data. So it will give two, right? Two column. One is for table name. The second one will be watermark date. Let me see. So as of now, what we have discussed, we have to create a watermark table, which will return the table name and second is your watermark value. Let me run the query. What we have? You have watermark value, right? Watermark values. Okay. Just keep in mind like that. I think this server is slow, so we have to wait for some time. Meantime, let me set up this second lookup. So in second lookup, what we need a maximum value of SRC table. Do we have query? So let me see where is the maximum, 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 maximum. We don't have. So let me write it for you. Okay. So select star from data SRC where where what is the max, right? We don't need max. So what we did, we did a max of last modify time. So let me see what we're getting. So that's a mandatory part. So we are getting last modify and what we name as new water mark value. Okay, okay. You understand, right? This is quite simple. I am taking new water value from here. Okay, let me use same because I already have things right on the place. So I made a query here. I will run it and I will preview data. So previewing data means I'm just capturing what column I have, what data I have. Okay, that's not a big logic on top of it. And meantime, it again, let me open the copy. So you can see the column name is new watermark values, and this is a data. Okay. Now what we have to do here is I need to do copy activity, right? Means I will just once I capture data, I need to compare the dates and get the data. Okay. Okay. Here what I have to do, I need to copy it from SQL only. There is no issues. I will capture, I will use any SQL link services. Okay. I need to use query, correct? I already prepared query for you. I'll just update it for you. Okay. Okay. So I will just copy it and I'll give the same name what I have. Let me brief it. So till here there's no confusion. I'm just selecting all the data from the data CRC table. Where last modify this will give me the old watermark value output. Okay. So activity is my old activity name is a old activity. Okay. Let me copy it. I'll give it name. So for old value from where I'm getting it from here. Okay. So this is my old activity name, correct? I'm just overriding it. So there's no syntax error at my query. Okay. So this activity is old and this activity is new. Okay. I'm just giving the name what is expected from the pipeline not to be failed. Okay. So here I given all the names. Okay. So let me come back. So here I will get what I will get. I will get 2010 date. Means the data which is greater than 2010 you should come, right? And second condition is what is the maximum date on that table? Means from the new lookup value, what the data latest data we have on the table, right? It will compare with this means 2000 till to 2018 11th, right? 11th date I think we have maximum on the table. 11th or night we will check that part. Okay, so you can see do we have the same name? And now what is the we have first row, do we have same name water value or not, or what is the new mark value? Okay, let me see. So once this will run, might once I run, might be I get it, I will solve it. Okay, so once this is run means what data we have to update the latest data. Means from the new table we have to update on the store procedure, right? So this will capture for next time, correct? So let me call the store procedure. Let me configure it. So let me use the link service anything and let me capture the store procedure. So I have a store procedure and what it required two output, right? As if you know, right? Let me open the store procedure for you. So this store procedure require ask for two output. Last modified time. Let me give last modified time. I remove that at the date part, and second is a table name. Okay. So from where I will get this value? Do you think where I get the value? I will get the value from old watermark. Sorry, let me revise it. So last modified time means it will get it from new, correct? So I will capture the new one. So as I already have a statement, I will just copy it from here to here. Okay. So I'll brief you what it asking for. So you can see I'm taking a new watermark. I am taking a new the new word, but I don't need a new watermark. I need it first, right? So date and time, latest date and time. Yeah. I got it from the new means I have a new data mark, and for the file name what I will use this one, second one. Okay, let me copy it, paste it. So I just need a file name of table name. From where I'm getting table name, I'm getting it from the new old value table. I'll preview the data. You will understand. Okay. So if you preview the old data, so let me preview the data. You will get two column, right? One is for table name, second is a last modified date. Okay. Let me see. You can see I got getting a watermark values, correct? Watermark values. Let me see. Do we have correct one? Watermark values, correct? Watermark values, correct. So if I get it, I will see. Sync is quite simple. I will use a blob location, any of them. Okay, let me create one in front of you, so you will understand. In blob, I need to store the file where I have blob location. I need to do incremental info. I have created one folder called increment. I will keep all the files here. As of now, there are no values. Okay, and I will capture dynamic data. Means the file name. Means correct. Getting my point. So I will give dynamic name based on pipeline name. So I will create some sample. So I have created a loss modify and table name. You can see the formula I applied. So I have captured as the activities lookup new watermark output first row and the new watermark values. Okay. So this value of getting from the new watermark. Okay. I have this only one maximum number, right? Secondly, I have given the table limit from old value. Let me show you. In old value, what I am getting, I am getting data from this what table name and the last modified date, and new one I'm getting the maximum date. Okay, you can see table name. So once we capture it out, it will cover. Okay, so once we run it, let me run it for you. Okay, let me drop some table here watermark value, because I have run here, so let me drop this watermark. Okay, so in watermark, you can see what I have data. I have watermark. Let me create a watermark table for you, because sorry for misunderstood. I have done again. So let me insert the data. Let me run what data I have. Okay. So you can see I have this data in watermark table, and I have data here, 7 records. Okay, you can see 7 record I have. Let me drop the tables. Some data already created. Let me drop the file here, and I will run the pipeline. Okay, let me run the pipeline. So what it will do, it will capture the old water, or means old water mark, from where it will take it from your water mark table, and the new watermark it will capture from your actual table, source table, and it will capture the maximum date on top of that table. Okay, so you have differences, right? So in copy data activity, you have captured all the data. You can see I have a last modified getter than from 2010, and less than equal to your latest data. Means you have minimum range and you have maximum range. Okay, so it will work like that. So you have that set of data, we will run it. So you can see run equal data completed. Let me refresh it. So I would have how much rows? I would have 7 rows, because I have added 7 rows here. Let me see, do we I'm getting correct data? Yeah, I'm getting all the data. And watermark table, it should have what data? It should updated with the latest data of 23. 23 my latest data. Okay, let me see. Correct. So this is my first load. For example, I will load two more data called from let me take example of 28 and 30. I will add Raj. I will use Sam. Okay. Change the ID 111 and 121. I will add two rows. So this time, what incremental load do? It will just capture in watermark what data I have. I have a data as 23, right? From 23 to maximum date to 30, it will capture two record and it will create a different file, CSV, and load it. Let me directly hit the run button and see the output. So it's quite simple. It's not a rocket science to understand. I just have an old date and I have a new date. Old date we capture on watermark table, new date is coming from the actual source table. And what the different dates we have, we can capture into our copy activity and load store into a CSV file for further operations. Okay, so quite simple. It's not a big date, big thing. Okay, let me see. Do we have created new table? Let me go back. Let me refresh it. I got second table. Let me open the file, and most probably I would have two rows here, Sam and right. So incremental load is this means next time suppose I have only four rows, it will capture four rows in the new file. So it easy to understand and it's not required to load all the data again and again each time for fact loads. Okay, this is called data load. So I think my watermark table also get updated for the new data called 30, I guess. Correct. So this is my agenda for today to understand about incremental load to you on the fact load. This is a very important question. You will please watch this video again and again from the beginning to end. So you will get all the errors, all the scenarios, all the possible answers you can present yourself for in front of interview. Okay. Humble request, please subscribe my channel to get updated on the all the interview perspective for data engineering side like ADF, SQL, Power BI. I'll capture everything. Okay. Thank you.